Welcome to Houston City Beat, brought to you by D&L Appliance Installation Services. I'm Mike Acosta. Today we're at the Marketplace on the Katy Freeway in West Houston to visit Tom Kennedy's Collectibles. Tom Kennedy is a longtime sports collectibles dealer and broker who has seen it all when it comes to collecting. If you're looking for it, Tom Kennedy most likely has it or can find it for you.
Well, I was born in Austin, Texas, and I grew up in Gainesville, which is north of Dallas, right before you get to the Oklahoma border. And I went to Baylor and studied journalism and started to work for United Press International in Dallas, and then came to work for the Houston Post in 1970. Seems like only yesterday. And I covered the local beats, which were a lot different than what they are today. Covered City Hall and covered the Harris County Courthouse, the criminal courts, the civil courts, and of course City Hall in Houston, with a strong form of government, is well, it's a ball for a reporter. And then in 1983, my buddy Lynn Ashby, a longtime columnist for the Post, he became the editorial page editor and designated me to be a columnist. So I achieved my life's goal to be a newspaper columnist for a big city newspaper. And I vowed that it would be nothing but fun, reporting the facts and not propaganda like we hear today, but facts, and then you've got to decide what side is best. And I thought that we hit the nail on the head most of the time. But of course, in 1995, that spelled the demise of the Post.
In addition to being a journalist, Tom always loved collecting.
Oh, well, I would say I was about 10 or 11 years old, but I didn't complete my sets of cards back then. And so I get to be an adult, and I'm earning regular paychecks, and I said, hey, if I could find Mickey Mantle and Yogi Berra and the cards that I need to complete that set, that would be a lot of fun. So I first started out doing that with my old buddy King Waters. He was a police reporter for the Chronicle. I was a police reporter for the Post, and we got to talking. We said we never completed our sets. So on our days off, we worked together, and we found people who would sell their collections, and we would complete our sets. And that evolved into what I call the development of a subculture, which is now huge, a bunch of collectors. But I organized the first card show at my apartment clubhouse in 1974. It was in the winter, right before spring training, and you could get star cards for 2 cents a piece, a set of 1954 tops for $35, if you can imagine. Some of the cards you can't buy for that amount of money now. My partner Tom Copa and I put on 10 years of card shows with the Houston Astros in the Dome Skeleton. So you could actually trade cards with the game going on in the background. I mean, that was fun. One of the scenes where we were buying and selling, and the game was going on, and all of a sudden a fly ball hits the right field, hits up against the right field wall, and everybody in the show jumps because it made a heck of a noise. It was like a gun going off when the ball hit the fence there. And when you think about it, you can't beat that for a thrill. I mean, here you are trading, 2 Willie Mays for a Mickey Mantle and a Stan Musial, and somebody hits the ball, and you look up and you say, well, the Astros just scored, and we're going to beat the Phillies, and it was just everything in your greatest fantasy. I was blessed by the good Lord to have speed, so I ran track and ran 1 year at Baylor, but as far as spectator sports, I mean, baseball there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. I mean, I played second base, and I knew people who pitched, and we still talk about little league games and who hit the home run and who threw somebody out at home, and there's just no other game like baseball. And that, as far as collectibles, there's no other sport like baseball with the collectible, not just cards, but everything else. I mean, everything else. I can't believe that a lot of people collect the balls that were used in the game, like Jose Altuve foul ball, and that's a treasure to somebody. The late great Red Barber put it all in perspective. Baseball is just a little bit like that, more than a little bit like life. You have slumps. You have people who hit the game-winning home run, and you have people in slumps, whether they're pitchers or fielders or batters, and they work to get out of a slump. Just like you work, you lose a job, you work to get a new job. And if you hit a home run one day and you strike out the next, you say, I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm going to come back. And the old saying in baseball, there's another game tomorrow. And all of these analogies are just more than just a little bit like real life. And I don't think you find that quite like the other sports. Just don't seem to produce that same emotion and analogous to real life.
Tom Kennedy has seen a lot of collectibles, but what has been his favorite?
Two things, and I sold them to the one and only Barry Halper, who was known in his day as probably the greatest collector in America. He was from Jersey, and I'm going to have to plead guilty to absent-mindedness because I can't remember the left fielder's name. But he came up for a cup of coffee in 1918, and he played left field for the Boston Red Sox. And in the World Series, in the clinching game, he caught F7, he caught the fly ball that ended the World Series. The Bo Sox won. There was a pitcher for the Bo Sox, the greatest player in the game ever, Babe Ruth. And the left fielder, I'm seriously remiss in not remembering his name. I apologize for that. But he got the ball, and he got Babe to sign one of the panels with his game stats on it, and I don't think there was a run scored, so there was a 0 there. And then there was the other 8 players on the field when that happened. And I had that baseball. It was acquired from the left fielder's widow. And also, Babe Ruth told him, kid, maybe you could use this. And he hands him this woolen sweater, this solid red, and it's what the Bo Sox wore then as kind of a warm-up jacket, And the guy was smaller than Babe Ruth, and he had it tailored. And I acquired the jacket and the baseball, and of course dealt them, flipped them, as we say in today's world, to Barry Halper. And Barry Halper said, "These are two of the greatest items I've ever obtained for my collection." And it was nothing but fun. I used to have my partner, Big Wayne Christian, may he rest in peace, God love him. And we had big and TKs, baseball cards, and everything else. So, baseball cards are highly collectible. They're a great investment opportunity now. But there's other things that if you collect cards long enough, you say, well, wait a minute, what else is there? And there's plenty of other things. There's programs, there's autographed balls, there's game-used jerseys, there's all kinds of, souvenirs that you get that as they age, they become more valuable and more in demand. And so I decided a long time ago, well, I don't want to sell more than baseball cards because I want to make more people happy. Or, as I like to say, and I absolutely have high contempt for drug dealers, but I tell the collectors, I say, I want to fix your habit. It's not drugs, but it's going to be the cards you want, the jersey you want, the autographed picture you want. And if keep the price as low as possible. And of course, that's usually the only argument you have is over the price. Everybody will not argue about loving baseball, loving the Astros, and they are the greatest team in the majors. And there's no argument about that. But when it comes to the price, well, no, I'll give you this. You're asking that, but I'll give you this. I used to have a big shop in the Antique Center of Texas, but now I had to confine myself to 2 smaller shops. I have one at the marketplace on the Katy Freeway between the Beltway and Wilcrest, and then the other, if you go south on Wilcrest and turn left on Memorial, you will see Romo Creek Village Antiques, which has been in business for 30, 40 years, and I have some of my outfits over there and some of them here. Well, I think it starts out with what's your favorite team, who's your favorite player, and sometimes it's Jose Altuve, sometimes it's Alex Bregman and Yordan Alvarez, and you say, okay, well, do you have his rookie card? The rookie cards of those guys, now Altuve is pretty difficult now, but the Bregman and Alvarez, you can readily obtain their rookie cards. You say, well, you want to start out with that and build up. I like to portray myself as being an Astros aficionado and have a lot of Astros cards for sale, and the autographed versions, the graded versions, and the raw version, which is cards that are not autographed or graded. There's things that turn on different people. I talked to one of my customers earlier today, and he has 3-foot bobbin head dolls that he gets signed. Now, if you can imagine a 3-foot knotter of Yordan Alvarez, and it's signed, that was a big thrill for him, and he has it in his collection. And I told him, I said, I want to see a picture of all of these guys standing around, because 3-foot knotters, as we call them, are a lot different than the kind that are like this, maybe standing 7 inches tall. And I would like to see a picture of that. He's going to send me one, but I do believe that it's whatever turns you on the most. Some people want 16 by 20s. I noticed the other day that a gentleman has for sale a complete set of signed Astros World Series baseballs from 2017. And, he's real proud of that collection, and he no doubt had a ball putting it all together. And that's what it's all about. You put together, well, it's been my experience, you put together one complete set of whatever, jerseys, cards, baseballs, or anything that you're collecting. You have to go for another complete set of something different.